Yeah, y'all, Chief Prepper here. Sorry, that thing was wiggling. I just let go of it. I wanted to talk to you real quick about shit hits the fan. I think economic collapse is something that we seriously need to worry about. Central bank digital currency, obviously, something we need to worry about. Escalations overseas. There are people who are patriots and are very proud. And I will tell you this, I'm not going to say what I'm going to say to offend you, but we can't win a war with the number of military we have in active duty National Guard and reserves. So if it comes to that, people should expect the draft. Um, yeah, depending on which YouTube channel you listen to, there's only like 25% of the fighting age males that are physically fit enough, aren't on drugs, don't have issues that can be drafted. Sadly, I'm thinking most of those are patriots and conservatives, sons and daughters. So shit hits the fan can come in many different areas. Palestine, Ohio, right now, surrounding area, water. It's unsafe to drink, I would guess. I'm guessing. During the Texas freeze, it was pretty damn uh, intense here, and we're further south than many places. You know, Hurricane Harvey, 2018, we were 18 miles from damaging winds. There were portions of Texas along the coast that didn't have electricity for a year. Rita Katrina, when the floodgates broke in New Orleans, life altering events. You find out what's important to you when that kind of shit happens. Uh, I can tell you the first year I was in Iraq, I shit in a porta john for the entire year, basically. There were Iraqi toilets, but you couldn't put toilet paper in them. If you did, you flushed them and you stopped up the pipes because they weren't designed for that. When you're overseas and there's no clothing and sales where we can buy extra socks and t-shirts and underwear or outerwear or anything, shopettes or corner stores is what you call them here. We call them shopettes in the military, where you can get sodas and snacks and stuff other than what you eat in the dining facility. Don't get me wrong, the food over there was good, but we eat the same thing the same day of the week every week. So every Monday was fish, or every Sunday was steak and lobster, or steak and king crab. But yeah, that was good. But even good food gets old. So, but the shopping thing and being overseas, and one of my soldiers, I've told the story before. He was in Kuwait. They lost two of his laundry bags, so he went from 6 uniforms to two, and then he went from 21 pairs of underwear, socks, and t-shirts down to like 6 or 7 pairs. And he was lucky because my NCYC that got reassigned 3 weeks before we deployed uh, told me to tell all the soldiers to make it a standard. We brought 21 sets, and you wound up needing them all. Uh, so Patera, I can't think of her channel, but you know who I'm talking about, was talking about people needing religion, and I made a comment on her video that people haven't been scared enough to find it yet. I guarantee you, when people start dying, when the threat of dying is high enough, people will find religion. And what's sad about that is it happened on the plane going over Iraq. It started happening before, when people started realizing we were going. Uh, People started getting scared. Most of us didn't know what we were walking into. That's probably as close. That deployment is probably as close to shit hits the fan as you can really get, because we were 5,000 miles away from home. We didn't know if we were ever coming home. There are certainly many people who didn't. Uh, the same people who found religion right before they left and on the plane over there lost it when they got back. I'm like, you're stupid fucks. You think God can't see what the fuck you're doing? So I went on to say there are two types of people in church. One, the truly righteous. Two, the rest are perpetrating a fraud, trying to earn their way into heaven. I'm at peace with going to hell. Sounds bad, but been in a few places, done a few things. Some of them weren't very good. So Texas ice storm, Palestine, Ohio, Hurricane Harvey, Rita, Katrina, the snowstorm in California right now. You know, I think you need to consider what you are going to face in your local area more than you need to worry about anything else, because basically for preparing for uh, snow, ice, freezing, hurricanes, tornadoes, basically the lack of necessities, electricity, water, maybe your house getting blown down or losing stuff, then if you prepare for that, then you're prepared for anything. So shit hits the fan, comes in many different forms and sizes. It's like the devil, shapeshifter, you know, and it's always going to happen when you are least ready for it. So I'm assuming I'm not too different than many people. I struggle with balancing enjoying life and prepping and taking care of my dad. So this weekend I'm taking a break, and I'm lucky this time my wife is coming with me. So I'm going to try and enjoy it. The only thing that would make it better is if we could bring our dogs, but I don't think dogs would be allowed at the Texas Motor Speedway. So anyway, I've often said you got to balance your life. You have to take the time to enjoy things with the people you love and care about. Uh, I can tell you for a fact the graveyards are full of people who thought they were coming home from the war when they didn't. And there were probably some regrets on this side of the ocean where family members maybe didn't do something with their loved one before they left. Pick what it is: one last kiss, one last hug, one last goodbye. You know, saying goodbye to a coffin sucks. So, this war thing, you know, it's going to be awful. So I've talked long enough. Another 8-minute video, almost 9. I'm getting ready to watch The Last of Us. Episode 7, season 1, and then episode 8's coming on off this. It's a show I really enjoy. I wanted to touch on something real quick on that. On the last episode of The Last of Us, they were fucking eating people. And if you watch the show, you'll see an interchange in between the person I think who's doing the cooking and the person who brought in the tray of meat. She asked him, "What is it?" He said, "It's venison." She knew it wasn't. And even if she didn't know it what didn't know it wasn't. She knew when she started cooking it. Anybody who knows anything about cooking knows that beef and cow smells different than pork and pig, and all those two smell different than fish or chicken. So I can guarantee you, cooking horse or cooking venison or cooking human smells different. So, but there's a kind of an interesting dichotomy, I think is the word you would use. She knew it wasn't. She cooked it anyway, and she served it to people. Kind of gotta make you wonder. If you do some research on the Donner Party, them motherfuckers were eating people too. So Donner Pass. So just don't underestimate the power of hunger and what it will do to you. Most people in America haven't been hungry. I don't care who you are. You ain't gone without food for a week. You ain't been hungry. So there's a decent chance it's coming. I think the difference between people who are considered wealthy now and people who are going to be considered wealthy in the coming years are going to be the people who have food to eat. I would encourage everyone to look for land to buy with a water source or water available if you can drill a well so you can grow your own damn food. It's a decent chance that there's a time coming if you ain't growing it, you ain't eating it. So anyway, kind of a fucking dreary fucking video, but just remember, if you're waiting for the big one to happen, you may get slapped from a left hook from something coming out of the other field that you ain't thinking about. So remember, the shit hits the fan comes in many different shapes, forms, and sizes. And your shit hits the fan may not be the same as someone else's. So information is knowledge and power. Chief Prepper out.